So, you're finally ready to step up to the table and play a game of craps. But in all the excitement at the table, it can be intimidating, especially on a crowded table. To make matters worse, craps players can be extremely superstitious, and slowing the momentum of a table is a good way to make you more enemies than friends. You want your first experience at the tables to be an enjoyable one. In this video, we teach you how to approach the table and buy in with confidence. So if you're ready to learn some rules and proper etiquette every craps player should know, then belly on up, because it's time to buy in right here on Yo-Levened Bread. In this video, we're using terminology that might be unfamiliar to new players. If that's you, we've got you covered. Click the icon above to watch the first video in this series, Craps Terminology. Then come right back here and pick up where you left off. If you're ready to learn some etiquette, then let's get rolling. Playing within your means. This isn't really a rule or an etiquette thing, but it's the first thing I'll mention because I think it's the most important and I want to be very clear. Craps is a form of gambling, which means its purpose is for entertainment only. The goal is to have fun. While nobody enjoys losing their money, there's a big difference between bringing a few $100s that you can afford to lose than betting away an entire mortgage payment. Now, there are different strategies to allow for lower bankrolls to be played over a long period of time, giving you a better value for your money. And different players have different playing styles that they develop over time. Beginning players should try to get the most minutes out of their dollars so they can fully learn the game before increasing their bets. I always recommend starting at the lowest minimum bet allowed to start, even if your bankroll allows for higher. Here at the Yo-Levened Bread Casino, we have a $5 minimum table, and that is what most of my videos will show. When to buy in. As I mentioned before, craps players can be extremely superstitious. Buy in at the wrong time and they'll consider you a jinx at best, or try to shun you until you leave the table. Once you found your spot at the table, take a minute to watch what's happening. It's generally frowned upon to buy in when the puck is on. Wait until the point is off to even consider laying money down. To really make a positive first impression at the table, wait until the shooter sevens out before buying in. You don't want to slow a hot shooter, and the only thing worse than missing out on a hot roll is being blamed for cooling it off. When you do buy in, never try to hand the dealer your money. Lay it down on the table in the area marked field. Even if the dealer is doing something else, don't worry, he or she will take care of you before the next shooter. Be polite and be patient, as they may have a certain order that they do things. Showing action. Unless you're completely lucky or at an empty table, chances are it won't be your turn to roll right away when you buy in. Now, there's no rule saying that you have to bet on every shooter, but if you want to hold the dice, you'll have to show action or make bets before the dice make it to you. If the dealer sees you're not betting, they might call no action when it's your turn and pass their dice right past you to the next shooter. When you do make a bet, do it while the stickman has the dice at the center of the table. Once the stickman passes the dice to the shooter, the dice are out. Technically, you can still try to make a last second bet while the dice are in the air, and the stickman or dealer may or may not accept it, but it'll be much to the anger of the table. Best case scenario, it doesn't affect the roll and the other players will just yell at you. Worst case scenario, your bet will hit the dice, resulting in a 7 out, and you'll be blamed for it. Handling the dice. The dice are finally passed to you. This is the moment you've been waiting for. While betting on other shooters, you could make any kind of bet you want. But now that you're the shooter, you need to either bet the pass line or the don't pass. These bets will be explained in more detail in a later video, but know that one of them needs to be made. On your first roll, the stickman will pass you 5 dice. Select 2 of them and the stickman will take back the other 3. While you're handling the dice, you can only handle them with one hand at a time, and you cannot pass them from hand to hand. If you need to switch hands, set the dice down on the table and pick them up again. You also need to keep the dice over the table. Imagine that the walls of the table extend upward. The dice should not go outside the walls. If during your roll, one of the dice leaves the table, the stickman will call no roll and pass you the 3 extra dice. Reselect your dice and keep rolling. Now if you do want to use the die that left the table, call same dice right away. The dealers will look over the runaway dice to confirm it's still intact and balanced, then put it back in service and give you back the same dice. Throwing the dice. For a throw to be considered valid, both dice need to first land on the table, then hit the back wall. If your throw doesn't accomplish these standards, you may be warned by the stickman to throw correctly. Too many warnings could cause you to lose the dice. There's much controversy over whether one can influence how the dice land, and this video won't go into that. But for this topic, know that a stickman may be more lenient for a shooter who shakes up the dice and throws them randomly that doesn't hit both dice on the back wall. Now, if the dealer sees a shooter setting the dice in certain positions and throwing them a certain way time and time again, you better believe they'll be much quicker to warn these shooters to stick to the rules or else risk losing the dice. At this point in the series, you should have a solid understanding of the lingo of craps and a good foundation of the rules and etiquette. In the next few videos of this series, we break down the entire table and take a step-by-step approach to all the different bets. So make sure you're subscribed to see those videos and more. Remember to tip your dealers and always play within your means. Thanks for watching Yo-Levened Bread, and good luck everybody.